Hello, everybody. It's 6 o'clock. Before we begin the official program at 6:25, we have special performances for you tonight.
오후 6시 25분에 공식 행사를 시작하기 전에 오늘 밤 여러분들을 위한 특별한 공연이 있습니다.
First, please welcome the students of the Hwarang Youth Foundation, a nationwide organization that helps students become effective, powerful, and active leaders of their communities through civic engagement, volunteerism, and community service. They flew all the way from Los Angeles to perform for you today.
먼저 화랑 청소년재단 학생들을 환영해 주시기 바라겠습니다. 화랑 청소년재단은 시민 참여 및 지역사회 봉사를 통해 학생들이 각자 지역사회의 리더가 될 수 있도록 돕는 전국 단체입니다. 오늘 공연을 위해 멀리 로스앤젤레스에서 날아와 주었습니다. Please.
Oh, sorry about that. We have contemporary dance by Yena first before the book.
북소리 공연 전에 저희 현대무용 예나 학생이 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
This bitter earth what fruit it bears, and if my life is like the dust that hides the glow of a rose, what good am I? Heaven only
Thank you so much. Wasn't that amazing, everybody? Let's give them another round of applause.
다시 한번 큰 박수 부탁드립니다.
We're going to change things a little bit. We are honored today to be joined by several members of Congress who have long championed the U.S.-Korea alliance secured by the Korean War veterans.
오늘 이 자리에는 한국전 참전 용사들이 지켜낸 한미 동맹과 한인 사회를 오랫동안 지지해 오신 여러 존경하는 연방 의원님들이 같이 자리하십니다.
It is a great pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Senator Andy Kim of New Jersey, known as Andy to so many of us in this room. He made history as the first Korean American ever elected to the United States Senate. Senator Kim has been an unwavering advocate for veterans and for strengthening the U.S.-Korea alliance, and we're proud to welcome him as an honorary co-host of tonight's commemoration.
첫 번째 연사를 소개해드리겠습니다. 뉴저지주를 대표하시며 이 자리에 계신 많은 분들에게 앤디라는 이름으로 친근하신 한국계 최초의 미국 상원의원이신 앤디 킴 상원의원입니다. 앤디 킴 상원의원은 참전용사들과 한미동맹 강화를 위해 변함없이 헌신해 오셨으며 오늘 행사의 명예 공동 주최자이시기도 합니다.
Andy?
Please.
Senator Andy Kim.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Capitol. Thank you so much for being here, and to the great organizations that have put this together. Just so important for us to make sure we're taking time to be able to commemorate Armistice Day, to be able to commemorate how important this means for our countries, both the country of my blood and the country of my birth. And I'm very proud to be able to be here, to be able to honor our Korean War veterans, to be able to honor others that did so much to be able to step up. Both my parents were born during the Korean War, and I think about how different our lives would be if it wasn't for what happened to be able to protect them, their families, and the freedoms that came afterwards. And for me now, roughly 50 years after my family immigrated here to the United States, but 73 years after this armistice, to now be able to stand here in the United States Capitol complex as the first Korean American senator in American history, it shows so much of what this country has to offer, but so much of what this relationship and this alliance between South Korea and the United States means. And so I'm just so grateful for that, as now I am raising two little boys, a 9-year-old and a 10-year-old, so I'm used to little babies crying as they're running on out the door. I know, exactly, so cute. But, that is our future, and that is what we're trying to make sure that we are passing along. My kids and that generation, they're even further away from what happened in the Korean War, even further away from what happened with the Armistice. But it's so important now more than ever that we still tell that story and that we still do everything we can to be able to pay tribute, to be able to observe, and to be able to make sure we don't take this stuff for granted. Because there are still places around the world where we are doing our best to be able to provide the kind of freedoms, the kind of governance that is needed. And we know that the threats and concerns in around the Pacific, in around the Korean Peninsula and elsewhere remain. So we need to make sure we're steadfast. But beyond that, I would just say it's also very proud to be able to do everything we can to support the Korean American community, the Asian American community, and more broadly, the relationships between the Korean people and the American people. And that is something that I hope to be able to continue to work alongside these great organizations to be able to make sure that we're pushing forward, especially when it comes to our youth, when it comes to our next generation. So I just want to say thank you, everybody, for coming on out to be able to observe this together and be able to push forward. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Andy. Senator Kim, we love calling you that. And now at this time, we would like to feature a very special presentation. It's a fashion show on the Hill. It's called the United Nations Fashion Show, Hanbok Fashion Show, and you will see that each of the models, starting in the beautiful custom-made hanbok, will be representing each of the country that fought alongside the United States to aid Korea. The fashion show is presented by Korean War Veterans Support Foundation and the Great Korea Foundation.
이어서 한국전 참전용사 지원재단과 한국문화예술재단이 선보이는 유엔국 한복 패션쇼를 즐겨주시기 바라겠습니다. 한국 전통의 한복의 아름다움을 보여드리겠습니다.
give them another round of applause. Wasn't that beautiful?
큰 박수를 한번 더 주시기 바라겠습니다.
I mean, if I were 10 years younger, I would love to be one of the models too. We usually start our program at 6:25, but we wanted to accommodate Senator Kim, who had to leave early. So it is actually 6:28, just 3 minutes late, but not that bad. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today to commemorate the National Korean War Veterans Armistice Day, observed on July 27th, as we honor our veterans and promote lasting peace.
안녕하세요, 여러분. 오늘 이렇게 7월 27일 한국전 참전용사 정전기념일을 기념하며 참전용사들을 기리고 지속적인 평화를 기원하는 이 자리에 함께해 주셔서 진심으로 감사드립니다.
My name is Hannah Kim, founder of Remember 727, which has organized this event since 2008, when I was like 2. Next to me is my fellow MC and one of our co-hosts, Mr. Won-Suk Sung, Executive Director of the Korean American Grassroots Conference.
우리는 오늘 한국에서 자유와 평화를 위해 싸운 참전용사를 기리는 특별한 날을 맞이하여 이 자리에 모였습니다. 제 옆에 계시는 분은 한나 킴이고 2008년부터 이 행사를 주최해온 리멤버 727 파운데이션의 창립자입니다. 그리고 저는 공동사회자이자 공동주최기관인 미주한인유권자연대 KGC의 사무총장 송원석입니다.
In addition to KAGC, we're grateful that so many of the nation's leading Korean American organizations, Council of Korean Americans, and Korea Economic Institute have joined us again this year as co-hosts.
미주 한인 유권자 연대 이외에도 주요 한미 단체들인 미주 한인위원회 CKA와 한미경제연구소 KEI가 올해도 공동 주최자로 함께 해주신 것에 감사드립니다.
And we're also very privileged to feature a special photo exhibit, Project Soldier: Searching for Korean War Veterans, by photographer Rami Hyun. Can you wave your hand?
또한 라미현 사진 작가님의 특별 사진전인 프로젝트 솔저 한국전 참전용사를 찾아서를 전시하게 되어서 매우 영광입니다.
And we all thank LG once again for supporting us as our sponsor, so you can all enjoy the food this evening, and for their continued commitment to giving back, extending support beyond Korea to countries like Ethiopia and Thailand, and of course here in the US, where they have provided aid to veterans and their families through financial support, appliance donations, and community and housing projects.
그리고 LG에서 올해도 후원사로서 함께해 주셔서 여러분들의 오늘 저녁 음식을 즐길 수 있게 해주셨습니다. 또한 LG가 한국을 넘어 에티오피아, 태국 그리고 물론 미국까지 지원을 확대하여 참전용사들과 그 가족들에게 재정 지원, 가전제품 기부, 주택 및 지역사회 프로젝트 지원을 형태로 지속적으로 도움을 주신 것에 관해서 진심으로 감사를 드립니다.
President Ian Hwang, can you raise your hand? Thank you so much. It makes us so proud that even a Korean company has not forgotten our veterans' contributions and sacrifices made 76 years ago and to help Korea and the Korean people thrive today.
한국의 기업조차도 76년 전 오늘날 한국과 한국인들이 번영할 수 있게 해준 우리 참전용사들의 기여와 희생을 잊지 않고 있다는 것이 저희를 매우 자랑스럽게 합니다.
And now, if you can all please rise for the presentation of colors followed by the national anthem.
국기 제정식과 국가 재창을 위해서 일어서 주시기 바라겠습니다.
VFW Post 1177 Color Guard all the way from Leesburg for the presentation of colors.
버지니아 리스버그에서 함께해 주신 VFW 포스트 1177 의장대의 국기 제정식에 대해서 감사드립니다.
And to the Vets Quartet, today it was a quintet, as they added one more person for today's occasion for rendering of the national anthem.
오늘 국가 제창을 해주신 베테랑 사중 창단, 오늘은 오중 창단이었습니다. 국가 제창에 정말 감사드립니다. 매우 아름다운 목소리였습니다.
Again, thank you so much. We actually have members of Congress coming, and so we are waiting for them, which is actually the perfect time because I believe we have food in the back for you to gather some food and look at the photo exhibit and stretch your legs out a little bit, and we will resume as soon as the members show. Thank you so much.
저희 지금 의원님들이 기다리고 있는데 의원님들 오시기 전까지 뒤에 마련된 식사를 좀 하시고 그리고 사진전도 구경해 주시고 좀 이야기를 나눠 주시기 바라겠습니다. 맹부터 해야 될 것 같아요. 네, 네. 맞어요. 조일슨 의원 빼고 그냥 하는 걸로.
Hello, everybody. If you can just silence yourselves a little bit. We are extremely honored to have Congresswoman Grace Meng. If you can come to the podium. We actually have a surprise for her. She doesn't know this. Yeah, woo! So as many of you may know, Congresswoman Grace Meng represents Flushing, New York, home to a large Korean American population, and serves as chair of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus. She championed the Korean American Divided Families Bill, calling for reunions with separated relatives in North Korea. She deserves to be called an honorary Korean for all her work, and her husband and kids are Korean too.
그레이스 맹 하원님을 모시겠습니다. 맹 의원님은 한인들이 많이 거주하는 뉴욕주 플러싱을 대표하시며 연방의회 아시아 태평양계 미국인 코커스 의장을 맡고 계십니다. 북미 이상가족 재결합을 추구하는 Divide Family Act를 발의하고 통과시키셨습니다. 의원님의 모든 노력에 대해 명예 한국인이라 불릴만 하며 의원님의 남편분 또한 한국계 미국인이십니다.
President Ian Hwang So this is a complete surprise to her, but we're honored to present to you with the 2026 Champion of the Korean War Veterans and Peace on the Peninsula Award in recognition of your tireless work on behalf of our veterans and our community. Woo! And so all the
참전 용사들과 저희 커뮤니티를 위한 헌신적인 노력을 기려 2026년 한국전쟁 참전 용사와 한반도 평화의 챔피언상을 맹 의원님께 수여하게 돼서 영광입니다.
If we could also have the co-host representatives come up as well, KEI and CKA, Monica. If you can, just for the photo. KEI, representative from KEI.
KI 대표분께서도 나와 주십시오.
Thank you so much, and we will now hear from Chairwoman Grace Ming.
맹 의원님께 축사를 듣겠습니다.
Thank you so much for this incredible honor. I'm Congresswoman Grace Meng from Queens, and so honored to be back here at the National Korean War Veterans Armistice Day celebration. Thank you for the award, but I really want to be here to thank the Korean American Grassroots Conference, Council of Korean Americans, KEI, and Remember 727 for hosting this important event. I also like to recognize all those in attendance today, from our young people who represent the next generation of Korean Americans to the organizations who help give our communities a voice, to the companies who forge deeper ties between the US and South Korea, thank you. And a special recognition to our brave veterans here today. Over 1.8 million American service members, including 482,000 New Yorkers, fought to protect freedom and democracy on the Korean Peninsula. We owe you a debt of gratitude that can never fully be repaid, and we honor your bravery and sacrifice. We are fighting every day here in Congress to make sure that you get the benefits you earned and the treatment that you deserve on behalf of a grateful nation. The Korean War is sometimes called the Forgotten War, but on this National Korean War Veterans Armistice Day, we recognize the scars it has left us that have still not fully healed. Families remain divided, soldiers are still missing in action or unaccounted for. A lasting peace remains elusive. Each and every day, I'm working here to make sure our government is doing its duty to heal those wounds. In 2023, as Hannah mentioned, my Divided Families Reunification Act became law. It requires the State Department to work to reunite over 100,000 Korean Americans who've been separated from their loved ones in North Korea since the war. Just last week, the House passed my measure requiring the State Department to give the American people an update on where this work stands. Time is running out, and our Korean American community cannot wait any longer. This is also a challenging time for the long-standing alliance between the US and the Republic of Korea. For decades, Americans have understood that our own security depends on peace and stability in the Korean Peninsula. One of the greatest champions of that cause was a fellow New Yorker, former Congressman Charlie Rangel. Congressman Rangel enlisted in the US Army to fight in the Korean War when he was just 17 years old. In November 1950, during the Battle of Kunari, he heroically led 40 soldiers to safety under extreme cold and enemy fire, despite his shrapnel wounds. He was awarded the Purple Heart and the Bronze Star Medal with Valor for his bravery. Throughout his 46 years in Congress, he championed the US-Korea alliance. He fought for Korean War veterans to get the recognition they earned, and he worked tirelessly to strengthen economic ties and end the Korean War once and for all. And as he worked towards peace, he said, "Korea will always have a place in my heart." He spoke for New Yorkers when he said those words, and he spoke for the American people. I want to acknowledge Hannah, who I first met when she was Congressman Rango's chief of staff. Kudos to you, Hannah. Last month, I introduced a resolution honoring his life and his enduring contributions to the alliance between the Republic of Korea and the U.S. As the mom of 2 Korean-American boys and as the chair of KPAC, I'm proud to work alongside all of you to strengthen the U.S.-Korea relationship and the people-to-people ties on which it stands. Together, we will continue working towards peace, fighting hate, supporting our Asian American communities, and strengthening the U.S.-Korea alliance that has been a pillar of stability for over 70 years. 감사합니다.
Thank you so much, Chairwoman. We are so deeply grateful for your remarks and also for recognizing my late boss, Congressman Charlie Rangel. Next, we have Congresswoman Lois Frankel, representing Palm Beach County, Florida. I'm not sure if many of you know this, but she is a sponsor of a resolution that acknowledges the courage and sacrifice of the Korean War and the Korean defense veterans.
플로리다 팜비치 카운티를 대표하며 한국 전쟁 및 한국 파병 참전 용사들의 용기와 희생을 기리는 결의안을 지속적으로 발휘하고 계시는 로이스 프랭클 하원님을 소개합니다. 큰 박수로 맞이해 주십시오.
All right. Well, good afternoon. So great to be here with you, Lois Frankel from Palm Beach County. I'm so happy to be with one of my best friends, Grace Mang. Thank you all who sent her here from New York. Pleasure to be with you. And I want to thank, of course, the Korean American Grassroots Conference for all you do to strengthen the U.S.-Korea alliance, honor our shared history, because your advocacy makes a difference. I have visited your beautiful country and hope to go back soon. Now, if you come by to my office, you're all invited. I'm over in the Rayburn building. One of my treasured photographs is me hugging my son, Ben, when he got off the bus, returning home. Got a crying baby here. Excuse me? Oh, okay. We love babies. If you look at the picture, it's me hugging my son. He's in uniform. He had just returned home from the war in Iraq. He is a U.S. Marine War veteran. And I can tell you this, as a parent, like most parents as service members, I worried every day while he was away, and there was no greater relief in my life, or I think no happier moment, except maybe when he was born. It's close, that when he stepped off that bus. And the photo reminds me that every day, every American who wears our nation's uniform deserves to know that their service will always be remembered. And sadly, too many Korean War veterans did not receive the welcome home that they deserved. It was 77 years ago, as Grace Mang reported, 1.8 million Americans answered the call to defend freedom on the Korean Peninsula, serving alongside the Republic of Korea and 20 allied nations under the United Nations command. And more than 36,000 Americans gave their lives. Over 103,000 were wounded. I thank anybody here for your service. Yet many returned home with too little recognition, and that's why the Korean War became the forgotten war. So while history may have overlooked these heroes for too long, we never should. Today, nearly 1 million, that's a lot, nearly 1 million Korean War veterans are still with us, including more than 36,000 in my home state of Florida. Their courage helped preserve the freedom that allowed South Korea to rise from devastation of war into one of the world's strongest democracies, most dynamic economies, a global leader in innovation, technology, and opportunity. And today, approximately 25,000 American service members continue to serve in South Korea, preserving peace, deterring aggression, and strengthening one of America's closest allies. And that's why next week, on the anniversary of Armistice, with my colleague Gus Balakis and, of course, Grace Mang, I will proudly reintroduce a bipartisan House resolution honoring both Korean War veterans and Korean defense veterans. It recognized not only those who fought in the war and the generations who have stood to make sure peace is preserved. Our alliance remains one of the strongest in the world because brave Americans and brave Koreans stood together for more than 70 years, and because the commitment continues today. Thank you all for helping preserve the history, honor our veterans, and strengthen this remarkable partnership. All right.
Thank you so much, Congresswoman. Thank you so much for being here and for your bill, championing the bill. I'm so sorry, I forgot to actually mention that alongside Chairwoman Grace Mang, who received the 2026 Champion of Korean War Veterans and Peace on the Peninsula Award, Congressman Joe Wilson, who is the co-chair of the Korea Caucus, was also awarded, but due to some marks up on the floor right now, he could not make it. So I just want to acknowledge that we have a Democrat and a Republican member of Congress receiving the award.
저희 원래는 2026년 한국전 참전용사와 한반도 평화의 챔피언상을 그레이스 맹 의원님과 조윌슨 의원님, 공화당의 조윌슨 의원님이 같이 받으셨어야 되는데 오늘 부득이한 사정으로 갑자기 스케줄이 변경돼서 참석 못하게 되셨습니다. 그래도 맹 의원님과 조윌슨 의원님이 민주공화 양당에서 한 분씩 올해 상을 받았다는 걸 말씀드리고 싶습니다.
However, we have a very good friend of ours here with us. We're very proud because he made history as one of the very few Korean Americans in Congress, and I know him from way, way back in California. I would like to call upon to the stage Congressman Dave Min, all the way from Orange County, California.
저희 다음 연사분은 의회 내에 몇 분 안 계시는 한국계 의원님이십니다. 또한 캘리포니아 오렌지를 대표하시는 데이브 민 하원 의원님을 다시 모시게 되어 자랑스럽습니다. 민 의원님은 저희 참전 용사들과 한인 사회에 변함없이 든든한 친구이자 후원자가 되어 주시고 계십니다. 큰 박수로 맞이해 주시기 바라겠습니다.
안녕하세요. 제 이름은 데이브 맨입니다. 저는 영반 하원 의원 for California's 47th Congressional District. I represent the cities of Irvine, Costa Mesa, Newport Beach. And how many of you all been to Irvine? You know, how many of you all from Irvine? You from Irvine? Wonderful. It's a wonderful place. Koreans around the world know of it. It's a great place to represent. I want to thank KAGC, CKA, KEI, and Remember 727 for hosting this event, for inviting me here to speak, and for celebrating the 19th annual 727 Armistice Day commemoration. For those of us who are Korean American in this room, this is a special day. It's a day that marks an end to conflict between brothers and sisters, between family members. For my parents, they were born in 1947. They grew up during the Korean War. They were young children when it ended. My dad's oldest brother actually went off to North Korea to join the communists. It's something they didn't even talk about for about 30 years. So we have split families. This is a story of the Korean War. It's also a story of Korean Americans, because but for the sacrifice of 36,000 American troops fighting far away from home for values that we talk about today, freedom, democracy, liberty, I would not be here. My parents never would have had the opportunities they had. So I want to thank all those who serve in our military, for those who had family members who served in Korea. 73 years ago, the Korean Armistice Agreement suspended hostilities and established the DMZ, but it did not formally end the war. And it is long past time that we declare an end to the war as maybe a first step towards peace, maybe towards eventual unification, because we are one people. We've been divided for far too long, and we know the horrors of communism because we can look across the DMZ and see what life is like in North Korea for all those people. Now, I will just say as a point of personal privilege, I grew up in this country in a time and place like most Korean Americans of my generation that didn't have a lot of Korean Americans. People back then in the 1980s didn't know what Korea was. I was always called Chinese or Japanese. That was not meant as a compliment back then. And so it is remarkable to me today to see how cool Korea is. That my kids, who are now 15, 13, and 10, talk nonstop about K-pop, Korean culture. Of course, we all saw K-pop Demon Hunters, Korean food, and it's just really amazing. We're going to open a Olive Young in Irvine Spectrum in the coming months, I think in August, and very excited about that. My daughter is like screaming about this, and I just have to say that this is a point of personal pride for me because Korea and Korean American culture has advanced so far, and we see the potential when a country, when a culture is empowered by freedom and democracy, and that is what we continue to fight for. So I want to thank those who sacrifice their families, allowing Korea to enjoy that freedom, the Republic of Korea. Thank you all for being here and commemorating this important day. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Congressman, for being here and for your remarks. It makes me so proud as a Korean American to see him because my daughter can look at him and say, I too could be anybody, right, in America. So thank you so much. At this time, we will have Director Lee Lee-Gi-ryun of Korea's Ministry of Patriots and Veterans Affairs, MPVA, joined by the newly appointed Consul General Moon In-seok, who will be presenting the Ambassador of Peace Medal, an expression of appreciation from the government of the Republic of Korea, dedicated to the heroes who served in the Korean War.
대한민국 국가보훈부 이기련 국장님과 새로 부임하신 문인석 총영사님께서 함께 평화대사 메달을 수여하시려고 하시겠습니다. 수여하시기 전에 문 총영사님께서 축사를 하시겠습니다.
So we will hear from the Consul General before he awards the medals.
Good evening, everyone. I am In-seok Moon, Consul General of the Embassy of the Republic of Korea. It is my great honor to be here with you to commemorate the Korean War Armistice Day. As you know, the Korea-US alliance, today's most successful alliance in the world, was born as a blood-forged alliance in the crucible of the Korean War of 70 years ago. It was made possible thanks to America's proud and precious sons and daughters who answered the call at that time to defend a country they never knew and a people they never met. And their courageous dedication and ultimate sacrifice have become the foundation for the freedom and prosperity of the Republic of Korea today. Every Korean always holds the deepest respect for their noble service. Now, we're joined here by Korean War veterans and veterans' families. Dear veteran and family members, you are not only heroes of America or heroes of Ethiopia, but heroes of the Republic of Korea as well. All Koreans will forever remember you and all other heroes who devoted themselves to freedom and peace of the Republic of Korea, because it is the highest honor we can bestow in recognition of your dedication and sacrifice. Thank you very much.
Actually, we have Congressman Zach Nunn, who is one of the recipients of the medals on behalf of his grandfather. Because he's not here yet, what we are actually going to do, change things a little bit and hear from one of the Korean War veterans who is with us here, Sergeant Kadebi.
저희 오늘 사실은 잭넌 의원님께서 조부를 대신해서 메달을 받으셔야 되는데 늦어지고 계셔서 스케줄을 저희 프로그램을 잠깐 변경하기로 했습니다.
Actually, the congressman is here, so perfect. It is actually perfect timing, Congressman. As if you heard me from outside. We will have the ceremony as planned.
Ambassador for Peace, official proclamation. Ashenafi Kebede. It is a great honor and pleasure to express the everlasting gratitude of the Republic of Korea and our people for the service you and your countrymen have performed in restoring and preserving our freedom and democracy. We cherish in our hearts the memory of your boundless sacrifices in helping us re-establish our free nation. In grateful recognition of your dedicated contributions, it is our privilege to proclaim you an ambassador for peace with every good wish of people of the Republic of Korea. Let each of us reaffirm our mutual respect and friendship that they may endure for generations to come. Thank you.
Sergeant Ashinafi Pede is receiving his medal. He served with Ethiopia's distinguished Kagnu Battalion, which earned an extraordinary reputation for courage, discipline, and unwavering devotion while fighting alongside American and other United Nations forces. Thank you so much.
직접 메달을 수여받으시는 아셰나피 캐데비 병장님은 미국 및 유엔군과 함께 싸우며 용기와 규율, 변함없는 헌신으로 뛰어난 명성을 얻은 에티오피아의 명예로운 카뉴 대대에서 복무하셨습니다.
Next, we have Congressman Zach Nunn of Iowa accepting on behalf of his grandfather, Mr. Emmett Skip Martin, who served in the United States Army as sergeant during the Korean War, deploying to Korea in November 1952, serving in explosive ordnance disposal. He carried out one of the war's most dangerous missions, protecting fellow service members by locating and removing unexploded munitions.
다음 메달 수여자는 아이오와주를 대표하시는 잭넌 하운 의원님이십니다. 1952년 11월 한국에 파병되어서 육군 하사로 복무하신 조부 에밋 스킵 마틴님을 대신하여 메달을 수여받으십니다. 폭발물 처리 임무를 수행하며 불발탄을 찾아 제거함으로써 전우들을 보호하는 전쟁에서 가장 위험한 임무 중 하나를 수행하셨습니다. 큰 박수로 잭넌 의원님을 맞이해 주시기 바라겠습니다.
Next, we have Mr. Ray Letourneau accepting on behalf of his father, Lieutenant Commander Raymond Letourneau.
다음 수여자는 레이 라투르노님이십니다.
hello. I'm Veterans Attaché of the Korean Embassy. I got three more applicants from the society. Mr. Thomas Masters and Jose Casidar and Emet Skip Martin. Are there any families of them? Whose family? Thomas Masters.
Ms. Kathleen DeZizio, accepting on behalf of her father, Thomas Masters, who proudly served in the United States Marine Corps during the Korean War and remained in Korea through the signing of the Armistice.
캐스린 데지우님께서 한국전쟁 당시 해병대에서 자랑스럽게 복무하시고 1954년 7월 정전협정 서명까지 한국에 남아 계셨던 아버지 토마스 마스터스님을 대신하여 메달을 수여받으시겠습니다.
Kathleen. And John, accepting on behalf of his father, Jose Cadilla, who fought he's Filipino, but fought as part of the United States Navy, and his father was also a World War II veteran as well. If you can please remain on stage. Following this, we will hear from Congressman Nunn, who he himself is a veteran who was stationed in Korea and is a strong supporter of our service members for a few remarks.
이어서 잭넌 의원님께 축사를 듣겠습니다. 잭넌 의원님께서는 한국의 파병대에서 복무를 하셨습니다. 그래서 한미 관계의 든든한 후원자이기도 합니다. 큰 박수로 맞이해 주십시오.
Well, I want to say thank you so much for joining us here in Washington, both those who are the service members, the families, and most importantly, our Korean allies and friends who have helped make this possible. I'd like my colleagues to come join me at the podium because this is so much bigger than any one of us. It's really a reflection of all of us and our family service. I have to say, sir, you're still looking sharp all these years on. Well done, my friend. Well, my friends, I want to say thank you very much for joining us here in attendance of all of our Korean War veterans and everyone who has served, both those on the front line as well as the families at home, the civilians, the communities, the brothers and sisters, and now the grandchildren who are seeing this come to full light. I want to thank my colleagues who champion this cause in Congress, as well as the work of the Korean American Grassroots Conference, the Council on Korean Americans, the Korean Economic Institute, and Remember 727 for hosting this event. And I specifically want to thank Hannah Kim for her incredible work here as president of Remember 727, who helped pull all of this together. Hannah, a big round of applause for your incredible work. Thank you. I think when you look across the stage, you see directly stories. Stories that were impactful about how the world stood up to tyranny, a threat, and what was happening around the globe now over 80 years ago. You see stories of those who were on the front line, stories of those who are the grandchildren of those who served, stories of the family. Equally important, you look out at the audience. You see the stories of those who are Korea today, a Korea proud, a Korea brave, and most importantly, a Korea that is free. Together, we have stood side by side, including my most recent service at Osan Air Force Base, fighting the same fight, but most importantly, being that defensive shield, a shield for democracies around the world. That when you look at the hard work that Washington and Korea have done together, we've stood as allies in hard times, in economic prosperity, and certainly against those who would threaten us. My grandfather served during the Korean conflict, and too little of our history has been lost to this. While we remember valiantly those who served in World War II, or most recently my brother and myself who have served in operations post 9/11, the little bit I do know about my grandfather is this. He was a good man, he was a great farmer, and he spoke very little about his time serving during the Korean conflict. But from his letters, salvaged from our family's farmhouse that burnt down, I saw photos of a young man, new to the world, who had never left Iowa, but went to serve a cause greater than himself. And in there were pictures of my grandmother. They were still dating at the time. A Studebaker on a single-lane road. My grandfather in a canvas tent on a snowy hilltop. On the one hand, a photo of him with unexploded ordnance, which was his calling in the U.S. Army. In another photo, a group of him and 3 Americans and a Korean sharing a glass of what I can only imagine is an alcoholic beverage. Together, these are some of the stories that bind America and Korea's long friendship. But equally, it's a responsibility that each of us bear to make sure that these stories, and most importantly, that relationship, never withers. We have a responsibility together to the conflict that consumed the lives of 33,000 Americans who laid down their lives, including 508 brave Iowans from my home state who never made it back. By doing events like this, we remember not only the fallen, but remember a generation that now carries on all that they sacrificed for. There are more than just conflict numbers. These are the lives of those who served and whose lives were changed forever, working to defend a freedom that's here today. That's why tonight, on all days, we work so hard to continue peace through strength. I left the floor just now as we were debating the National Defense Authorization Act, one of the largest investments in America's arsenal of freedom, a vanguard not only for democracy, but for our allies around the world. It's legislation that advances our strength, but ensures our global peace, including efforts that I've led that are included in the U.S., Japan, Republic of Korea Trilateral Cooperation Act, which deepens our trilateral ties and strengthens our country's collective military capabilities to secure critical supplies and, most importantly, deter those in North Korea or China who would do harm. It also, yes. For those of you who have joined me on the DMZ, you know this all too well. It's a demilitarized zone, but it is just steps away from one of the most repressive regimes the world's ever known. And tragically, for too many of us, it's also the prison for many of our families, our friends, and those who served alongside us, that their families are still there today. We know, we pray, and we commit to a unified Korea and a freedom for all those still suffering. We also move forward the Artificial Intelligence Plan Act, which helps to keep our adversaries accountable in cyberspace by developing a strategy to combat malicious artificial intelligence, as well as a number of amendments that were included in tonight's NDAA that are being considered, which strengthen our partnership in the Indo-Pacific. With this, I want to thank my friends who are here in this room. I want to thank those who have served before us. The legacy of these men and women, your stories, the accomplishments that you have, and the story that you continue to tell is something that I think will inspire all of us, including that next generation of great American Korean and Korean American who make this so very successful. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Sergeant.
We'll do one group photo. Okay, we'll do one group photo. Stand in the middle.
Come on up here, my friends.
Thank you so much again, Congressman Zach Nunn. If you can all remain on stage. Next. Oh. Woo, everybody wave. Woo. We will now hear from the Sergeant, Ethiopian Korean War veteran Ashinafi Kabire, who was one of the 4 remaining Ethiopian Korean War veterans back in 2015 when I first met him. So we are deeply honored to have him and his niece, who will be interpreting.
이어서 아시나피 케베데 참전용사님의 이야기를 듣도록 하겠습니다. 해나 씨가 2015년에 그를 처음 만났을 때 그는 에티오피아의 단 4분 생존에 계시는 한국 전쟁 참전용사 중 한 분이셨습니다. 그렇게 이분을 이 자리에 모시게 돼서 매우 깊은 영광입니다. 다시 한번 큰 박수로 맞이해 주시기 바라겠습니다.
I'm glad to be in the Korean War. I'm surviving. I'm 91 years old now. I'm very proud to be Korean War. Please. Thank you.
I was going to be here to interpret, but he did a great job.
Okay, if everyone can still remain on stage, all the honorees. However, Congressman Nunn has to leave us, yes. So thank you so much again for gracing us with your presence. Although today's commemoration is dedicated to our Korean War veterans, we also recognize that the legacy that they established has been carried forward by every generation of Americans who answered the call to serve.
오늘 밤의 추모식은 한국전 참용 용사들을 기리는 자리이지만 동시에 우리는 또한 그분들이 세운 유산이 조국을 위해 봉사라는 부름에 응답한 모든 세대의 미국인들을 통해 계속 이어져 왔다는 점을 함께 기억해야 합니다.
With that in mind, we would like to invite all veterans and active duty members of the United States Armed Forces to please come forward and join us on stage.
이러한 뜻을 담아 모든 참년 용사분과 현역으로 복무 중이신 미군 여러분들을 무대 앞으로 모시고자 합니다. 많은 분들이 한국에 주둔하셨거나 한국 주둔 참전 용사로 평화를 지키셨습니다.
Many were stationed in Korea, or they've been keeping peace as Korea defense veterans. So please don't be shy. We want all veterans, active duty, those who serve, to please come to the stage. We would be honored to recognize your service together. So we're going to allow some time for the veterans because today is about them and their service.
이 모든 분들의 헌신을 기릴 수 있어서 영광입니다.
Wow, we had so many veterans among us. Isn't this beautiful? And I'm going to call you to be in the middle of the... Okay, everybody, are all veterans here? Okay, everyone. Please give a round of applause to all the heroes standing before us.
큰 박수를 보내주십시오. 앞에 서 계시는 분들에게. I
hope you will join me in saying thank you for your service in the count of 3, okay?
저희가 셋을 세면 모두 함께 Thank you for your service라고 말씀해 주시기 바라겠습니다.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Oh, I feel like you guys didn't have dinner or something. We couldn't do louder than this. Okay, ready?
크게 한 번 더 부탁드립니다.
1, 2, 3. Thank you for your service. Thank you. Please remain on stage. Please remain on stage. And at this time, since we're now approaching 7:27, the highlight of our ceremony, the exact moment that we will be lighting our candles together for a moment of peace.
지금 7월 27일 기념하는 7시 27분이 다가오고 있습니다.
So at this time, all performers and models and children in the audience, please come forward because children, you are the reason why these veterans fought for your future. So
모든 공연자 분들과 패션쇼 모델 분들도 함께 다 같이 무대로 나와 주시기
all
바라겠습니다.
models, children, please come and
그리고
join us.
객석에 있는 모든 어린아이들도 참석해 주십시오. 참석 용사분들이 바로 이들을 위해 싸우셨기 때문입니다.
The Hanbok models could stand right, yeah. And this is when, if you do not have a candle like me, if you could raise your hand and the volunteers with the candles will bring you a candle. So please, don't light it yet, don't light it yet. Don't light it's battery operated, don't light it yet. But if you do not have a candle, please raise your hand.
초를 받지 못하신 분들은 지금 손을 들어주시면 저희 자원봉사들 분들께서 나눠주시겠습니다.
Oh, we need some candles on stage.
So we need a candle on the stage. 스테이지에도 캔들이 필요합니다. 좀 가져다 주시기 부탁드리겠습니다. Yep.
And before 727, we're going to listen to the performance Arirang by cellist Hannah Howon Lee. Hannah, if you can sit there. Give her, Hannah, if you can. Okay, it's 7:27. Now we'll have one more rendition of the simple arirang, where we can all sing as Hannah plays arirang, the simple version once more. Ready? It's 7:27.
여러분 7시 27분입니다. 초 바닥에 있는 버튼을 눌러서 초를 눌러 점등해 주십시오.
Everyone remains on stage. Oh, okay. Ready? Everybody. Now you may all return to your seats.
모두 자리로 돌아가서 앉아주시면 되겠습니다. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Perfect timing. Perfect. Okay, everybody, I want you to all know we have a very important person in the house, because our event today would not be complete or have been possible without Congresswoman, Chairwoman Young Kim, who represents Los Angeles Orange County region. She has been the congressional sponsor of this event for the last 4 years since we moved it to Capitol Hill.
아주 특별한 손님을 저희가 소개해드리도록 하겠습니다. 로스앤젤레스 오렌지 카운티 지역을 대표하시는 영킴 하원 의원님이 안 계셨다면 오늘 행사는 완성될 수도 열릴 수도 없었을 것입니다. 의원님은 저희가 행사를 여기 의사당으로 옮기고 난 후 지난 4년간 이 행사의 의회 후원자로 함께해 주셨습니다.
And if I'm so sorry, but if you can quiet down a little bit, Last year, we were proud to present her with the very first champion of the Korean War Veterans and Peace on the Peninsula Award, and thank her for her dedication to our community.
작년에 올해 드렸던 참전용사를 위한 상을 저희가 영킴 의원님에게 드렸습니다. 올해도 이렇게 든든하게 저희를 후원해 주시기에 참석해 주신 영킴 의원님에게 큰 박수를 맞이해 주시기 바라겠습니다.
Very high podium right here. Well, good evening. Welcome everyone to our nation's capital. And I want to first start by thanking KAGC, the Council of Korean Americans, the Korean Economic Institute, Remember 727 for bringing us together tonight. And I want to thank all the veterans in this room. You are the reason why we are here. We want to honor you, we respect you, and for anyone who have served in the Korean War, we are all deeply grateful because you are the reason why I'm here too. I was born in the aftermath of Korean War, so I know what my country was looked like at the time, and for me to be standing before you today in this capacity as a representative of California's 40th Congressional District, it's really, really a tremendous honor for me. You know, 73 years ago, the guns fell silent on the Korean Peninsula, but the armistice did not end the story. It actually began one. The story of a devastated country that became a thriving democracy, a global economy, and one of America's closest allies. That story was written by 1.8 million deployed American and by the more than 36,000 who never came home. They fought alongside South Korean forces and troops from 21 nations And they fought with the conviction that standing against the brutal, totalitarian ideology was worth their lives. I'm a direct beneficiary of that sacrifice. As I mentioned, I was raised in the aftermath of the war on the stories of the loved ones that crossed the DMZ to safety in the South. Without the heroism of American and Allied soldiers, I would not be standing before you tonight as a member of the United States Congress and as one of only 4 Korean Americans serving here in the halls of Congress. In 2009, this country set aside July 27 to honor that service. And much is thanks, and I want to give much credit to my friend standing to my left, Hannah, for her efforts in working on that resolution to make sure that we honor what happened on the Korean Peninsula. And tonight, as we lit the candles exactly at 7:27, we are doing more than just remembering. We are making a promise that we will keep telling those stories, that we will keep our alliance strong, and that we will keep working toward a peaceful and free Korean Peninsula. As the chair of the Indo-Pacific, or now it's called the East Asia and the Pacific Subcommittee on House Foreign Affairs Committee, I will make sure that we all remember freedom is never free. And I will do my part to keep Indo-Pacific free and open and democratic always. So thank you so much. May God bless America. May God bless veterans. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Thank you.
I just want to mention that we ran into some hurdles in securing this venue, and she personally made calls to the Speaker's office to ensure that we secured this venue. And her staff, is Alex here? Alex, thank you, Alex, and the interns. Can you please give them a round of applause? They did. For the past 3 months, I bothered Alex so much. Poor Alex. Thank you so much. Great boss, great staff.
다시 한번 진심으로 감사드립니다. 올해 이 장소를 확보하는데 어려움을 겪었을 때 이 장소는 그 국회의장님께서 리저브를 해주셔야 되는 장소인데요. 의원님께서 직접 의장실에 전화하셔서 이 장소를 확보하시기 위해서 많은 노력을 해주셨습니다. 그리고 의원님 보좌진 또한 저희를 돕기 위해서 많은 시간을 써주셨습니다. 알렉스 보좌관에게 다시 한번 큰 박수를 주시기 바라겠습니다.
And so this reception is coming to an end, and it would not have been possible without our sponsor LG and the joint efforts of the Korean American organizations who organized this event in unity.
이 리셉션은 이 추모식은 후원사 LG와 그리고 뜻을 같이 함께한 한인 단체들의 공동의 노력이 없었으면은 이루어질 수 없었을 것입니다.
And I do want to give a shout out to President Michelle Won. She's dedicated to Korean War veterans, and she, again, as president of the Korean Veteran Support Foundation, provided this hanbok, and we pulled it off in 2 weeks. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. At this time, can I call up all the representatives of the co-hosts, President Ian Hwang, Executive Director Song here, Monica from CKA, KEI, as well as Yuna, my right arm, Vice President of Remember 77, and Yena Lee, representing Hwarang Youth Foundation, and Mr. Rami Hyun for Project Soldier. If I could ask all of you to come up.
저희 행사를 마무리하며 다음 단체장분들을 모셔 마무리 말씀을 듣도록 하겠습니다. LG를 대표해서 이한황 소장님께서 먼저 말씀을 해주시겠습니다.
It is a great honor for LG to sponsor this meaningful event, and I truly appreciate the opportunity to be part of this commemoration of Korean War veterans Armistice Day. Although this is only my third time attending this event, I was amazed to learn that it has been held for 19 years. That is an incredible achievement. It would not have been possible without the tremendous effort and dedication of my friends, Hannah and Wonsuk, and the support of those who made it possible. I want to express my sincere appreciation and respect for their leadership and unwavering commitment in building this event into what it is today. I also see many familiar faces here, both in audience and on stage. It is meaningful to know that we are building this legacy together, and I hope this tradition will continue for many years to come. Just as the support of the United States and the sacrifices of the veterans who fought in the Korean War symbolize the alliance between our two nations, I believe it is these friendships like these and our collective efforts that continue to strengthen and sustain that alliance today. As a trusted partner and ally, LG stands ready to further deepen the partnership between our two countries through advanced technologies. These include substrates, the printed circuit boards that power AI chips, batteries that help make the electric grid more resilient, chiller systems that are essential for AI data centers, actuators that serve as the joints and muscles of advanced robots, and sensors that enable robotics and autonomous driving. While I stand here deeply humbled in the presence of our veterans, I'm also excited about the future we will build together. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jung Park and I'm Program Director at Korean American Grassroots Conference. It is really great honor for KAGC to co-host this amazing event with our wonderful partner organizations. Most importantly, we are here to honor our Korean War veterans, their courage and sacrifice to protect the freedom in Korea. Their service laid the foundation for the strong U.S.-Korea alliance we enjoy today. That is why we must ensure their service is never forgotten. This event also deeply connected the KGC mission. We are so proud to bring our community together here on the Capitol Hill and highlight the voice and presence of Korean Americans. On behalf of KAGC, I want to thank our veterans for their sacrifice, our member of Congress for standing with us, and our partner organization, volunteer, and everyone here tonight for making this commemoration possible. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much.
Here it is. I'm kind of short, so I'm going to stand right here. Good evening. I'm Monica Kang. I'm delighted to represent Council of Korean Americans, CKA, and as the Managing Director overseeing programs and strategy. And it means the world to be here on behalf of CKA. We have been partnering with Hannah and honoring this for a long time. And I just want to highlight the importance of past, present, future. Often I think we get so busy thinking about the future that we forget that we're only here today because of the people who were there sacrificing for us in the past. And so thank you again for our veterans, but more importantly, for all of you taking the time to remember to know that we're only here because of everyone before us, and we want to continue to build on that legacy. And so thank you very much. For those who are not familiar with Council of Korean Americans, CKA, we have 450 plus Korean American leaders, and so being able to be part of this program, but more importantly, be with all of you, with many of the members, is really meaningful. And so thank you again for all who are volunteering today, partnering, and again, Hannah, for your leadership in continuing this work. So thank you very much.
안녕하세요. Good evening, everyone. As we conclude 19th annual Remember 727 Korean War Armistice event, I want to thank each of you for joining us. Tonight, we together honor the veterans who fought for freedom and peace in Korea. And your presence has made this tribute deeply, deeply meaningful. This journey began back in 2008 when Hannah and Kim founded Remember 727, driven by a mission to ensure the forgotten war would never be forgotten. Her advocacy led to Korean War Veterans Recognition Act, officially designating July 27 as a National Korean War Veterans Armistice Day. Her personal commitment saw her travel across 30 countries and to personally thank more than 1,200 veterans. And Hannah's vision was the spark, but the flame we see tonight is sustained by all of you. So this evening would not be possible without the tireless dedication of our partners and co-hosts, CKA, KAGC, and KAI, and Hwarang Youth Foundation, and the Korea Society. And we are deeply grateful for our sponsors like LG, the commitment to our veterans and their families. And also, I would like to extend special thanks to all the teams of interns. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. All the work behind the scenes, from logistics and registration, and the beautiful Hanbok fashion show has been a backbone of this event. So seeing all of you here tonight proves that when we unite with the shared vision, we can keep the legacy of those who served alive. So thank you for all of your contributions, and thank you for showing up.
Good evening, members of Congress, honored veterans, and distinguished guests. My name is Yana Lee, and I am an ambassador of the Hwarang Youth Foundation. It is a true honor to be here today as a young advocate speaking upon the meaning of 727. I am part of a generation that has never experienced war. And because of that, I am part of a generation that has never experienced war. And because of that, it can be easy for people my age to view July 27 simply as another date upon history. However, it is much more than that. It represents the sacrifices that gave millions of people the freedom we have today. On July 27, 1953, the Korean Armistice Agreement was signed, bringing an end to the 3 years of fighting. During that time, young men and women answered a call that was not their own. Many crossed the Pacific to defend a country that they hardly even knew of. Because of their courage, Koreans were given the opportunity to live freely, raise families, and pursue their dreams. Their sacrifices also helped build the strong relationship that Korea and the United States have today. As a high school student myself, I know that my generation holds a different responsibility. We may never be asked to fight on a battlefield, though it is our responsibility to preserve the stories of those who did and make sure that their sacrifices are never forgotten. Through my volunteer work, I have had the privilege of meeting Korean War veterans. They showed me that courage and will is not determined by age, though it is determined by the willingness to serve something greater than yourself. Now to all the veterans here today, thank you. We cannot repay what you gave us, though we can continue to honor your sacrifice, your legacy, and protect the freedom you fought for. May God bless our veterans, the Republic of Korea, and the United States of America. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jessie J at KEI. Thank you all coming today, and then I deeply appreciate all hosts here. So on behalf of KEI, it is a great honor to be here with you to pay tribute to Korean War veterans. In Korea, the rainy season comes in late June and July. At the same time, the Korean War began on June 25th, and the Armistice was signed on July 29th. Whenever I visit the Korean War Veterans Memorial, I'm deeply moved by the 19 soldiers on patrol wearing ponchos as they walk through the Korean rice field. The scene reminds me of the harsh conditions our veterans endured. Not only the danger of the combat, but also endless rain, mud, cold, and snow for 38 months of war. I often ask myself how long I could endure those conditions. My answer is not very long. I believe that many of you feel the same way. Because of the courage, endurance, and sacrifice of those who served, Korea was given the opportunity to rebuild and thrive. Today, those same rice fields are no longer symbols of war and hardship, but of peace, hope, and prosperity. Today, we express our deepest gratitude to all Korean War veterans and remember all who gave their lives in service, including those in the Middle East. May we never forget their courage and the freedom they protected. Thank you. 감사합니다.
Hello, my name is Rami. I'm founder of the Project Soldier. I born in a free country, South Korea, but I don't understand what it means of freedom. But when 2016, I met one of the Korean War vets in South Korea, and I asked him, are you a Korean War vet? He's so proud of himself. Yes, U.S. Marine Corps Korean War veteran, South Cairo. That time, I didn't understand why such a pride, because I learned the Korean War just text, number, battle, not a story. The journey started like that. So I just asked why? Why such a pride? What's the meaning Korean War? And from 2016, I said one more person, one more place, one more country. From that time now, I met the 2,500 Korean vets. I learned about the freedom is not free. But they said Korean War not only veteran, the freedom. They ask us more veteran like them, Vietnam, Afghanistan, many veterans protect the freedom. The reason Project Soldier wanted to keep record the veteran story and their portraits, deliver next generation, freedom is not free. Thank you so much.
If you can remain on stage, we'll take a quick photo. But everybody, thank you so much again for being here. This concludes the official program. Please feel free to take the candle home with you and keep the flame and the hope for peace burning.
오늘 함께 주신 모든 분들께 특히 참전용사 여러분들께 진심으로 감사드립니다. 나눠드린 초는 집에 가지고 가셔도 됩니다.
And again, we thank you, all of you who are here, and the veterans for being here today. And I just want to give a shout out to Mike Bassett. If you're here, raise your hand. He helped Mike, if you can raise your hand. As I was traveling to all the states, every state, he was making phone calls to all the veterans and helping. So thank you so much. And of course to my family, my mom, my mother-in-law, my husband, my sister, and my niece who watched my baby while I was working to prepare this event. So I am very grateful. And of course to my partner in crime, all of you, Mr. Sung, and all, if you can give them a round of applause. And to all the volunteers, because we cannot do this event without volunteers. Thank you so much. We have encore performances for you to enjoy. Please enjoy the photo exhibit. They are really, really special.
공식 프로그램은 여기서 마치는데요. 이어서 앙콜 공연이 있을 테니까 남아서 즐기고 싶으신 분들은 즐기셔도 되고요. 남은 시간, 저녁 시간 즐겁게 보내시고 특히 특별 사진전도 다시 한번 관람하시기 바라겠습니다. 감사드리겠습니다.